All right, I know I'm a bit late, but I thought I'd do a video. I will tell you something is that I tried to take some time, think of an idea, got an idea, did a video for 4 minutes, deleted it, wanted to do another idea, couldn't come up with an idea, so went back to the original idea that I was gonna do the first video with. So the idea is, and I think I've done this before, so I'll try not to repeat the same stuff, but I wanted to talk about being the best in your class, or what does it mean being higher in your class versus size and experience. I can think in simple, I can try to explain this in simpler terms and maybe a bit more complex. But you know what? We can start with the simpler terms first. Typically in anything, okay, here's a good one. So let's say in sports, size and experience means you're older, you have more years of experience, you're bigger. Literally having a bigger size and having more experience on its own can get you a lot further. Or can just get you to perform better, or just be able to dominate more, or to be more dominant than what you already are. At the same time, what I do want to say is that when it comes to the general world, where everything is open, like I'm not talking about, let's say you have a culinary world, you have a hospitality world, you have a economic world, you have a military world, you have a business world, you have a sports world. Whatever the case is, these are all different worlds, but we're talking about when everything is just open. When everything is just open and like let's say we don't even belong to each other's worlds, but it's a bunch of worlds. Let's say at an airport, okay, or not. Let's say a transit terminal for the train. Let's say central transit terminal for trains. We are all in different worlds. We're just taking that train at the same time, or it could be a boat, it could be a cruise. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a ferry. But when we are when we're all in that public area, right? It could be a restaurant. Oh, a mall is a very good example. We could be in a mall. When we're in that public area, we are not interfering with each other's worlds. Right? I might look at someone and be like, "This guy's supposed to be an athlete. He's so fat," or "This guy's supposed to be an athlete. He's so skinny." This guy's supposed to be an athlete. He just looks too not like an athlete. You know what I mean? When I do that in the open world, it has no effect, because in the open world, we're not saying that I know you, you know me, we know what we're doing. We're not doing any of that, right? So in the open world, typically what we will recognize is size and experience. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's families, whether it's children, men, women, old people. It doesn't really matter, because especially, old people, men, women, children, they see things in just for what it's on their face value. So if they see someone, let's say they see somebody in the sports world and they're not even in that world, they don't know nothing about that guy, but he has a lot of size and experience, they'll recognize that right away. Okay, this person has size and experience. I gotta be careful. You know what I mean? Even if the guy was super dangerous, a lot of people love to challenge dangerous men. Oh, that guy thinks he's dangerous. I'll call the police on him right now. Oh, I got 10 friends in the government. I'll take care of that guy, no problem. He thinks he's dangerous. What does he think? I'm a monkey? I'm gonna fight him in that jungle world? What does he think? I'm a lion? What does he think? I'm a shark? I'm gonna go in the water? Am I stupid? I live on the land. I live in a gated community. I really think I'm gonna fuck with this guy? I'll just call my contacts and fuck him up. Call the security. Call the police and go get him arrested. You know what I mean? That's what the open world is like, right? So that's what I'm getting to is typically size and strength, right? Something like football is a very good example. NFL football, American football. That's a very good example too, because when you have size and experience, you like on first glance, you will be much more recognized. You know what I mean? And you don't really need a lot of people. You don't need to do things privately. You don't need people to know about you. You don't need to have a lot of friends. You don't need none of that, because you have that size and experience. And typically open communities, they accept size and strength and experience. They accept that. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, if I was an old lady typical community lady, an old lady, right? And I wanted to give my vote to somebody for whatever the case is. Maybe I had the opportunity to vote for the manager of a sports team. Sorry, I thought something was going off there. Okay, so maybe I, as an old lady, I had the opportunity to vote for the manager of a sports team, right? And I know nothing about sports. I don't know who it is, but I see 5 guys for the manager spot, and I know nothing. When I look at them and not knowing anything, I'm gonna automatically, as an old lady, or it doesn't. I mean, as whoever, any member of the community, I'm gonna be more likely to pick the person with size and experience. If I don't know anything about it, I don't know the inner workings. I don't know how good a guy really is, or the shit that he's done, which is on the down low and nobody talks about. You know what I mean? I'm just going off size and experience. Well, this guy is older, bigger. He's had, how much experience is on his resume? 20 years? Oh, that's definitely very good to get him there. So that's how we do it in the open world, right? Now, when you're in the same world, like let's say we were all playing soccer, European football, we were all playing soccer, right? And soccer is the biggest sport in the world. But if we're all playing soccer, other soccer players will probably know how good I am, right? And I don't even need them to talk about it. You know what I mean? Because if they know how good I am, I'm already getting what I need out of it, and it's already understood, and I know what I did, right? That's not even really necessary, okay? Now, let's move on from that. Then the next point I want to bring up within that idea is that you have the best in the class thing. So typically, and I do believe in this. I did it as a child. I believe in this as an adult. I believe in this as of today. Is that, and I feel this way too, is that I try to do my best to be the best in my class, right? Meaning wherever I belong to or wherever I'm around, I want to be the best in my class, because size and experience comes, right? You can have more size, you can have more experience. That can always come in the future, and you can continue to grow and get more experience. But in the meantime, being the best in your class kind of helps you to kind of do better, perform better, and get ahead, right? If you're the best in your class, and let's say you're in a C League soccer team, but you're the best in that C League soccer team, people will know that you can challenge a B team soccer player and defeat them. Or you can be better than the average B team soccer player, or maybe even just as good as a beginner, a rookie in the A League. You see what I'm saying? What did I talk about? So yeah, there are, it depends on who it is. There are people who will look at somebody who's very talented or he's the best in his class, and they'll be like, listen, this guy deserves, did I say yo? They'll say, this guy deserves to really move up. I see it, I recognize it, I know it, no one might be talking about it, but I know that this guy deserves a lot more. This guy deserves to move up. He's really good. He's scary good. He'll beat anybody. People are scared to compete with him and whatnot. But that's usually underground, and that's usually like a very experienced and a very knowledgeable person that says that. Your typical, like I said, your typical audience members and your typical people picking stuff, they just see size and experience, and they recognize it. I can become frustrated on my part. I can be the best in my class and I'm not getting what I'm supposed to get, but then I get that size and experience. That's when I get frustrated. And the funny thing is, you get, that does make a big difference. When people don't really have knowledge or not even looking to research into anything, and they just see you and they see your size and experience, they're more willing to give you what you deserve according to your size and experience. That's usually how they like to give that out. That's done. I have about 5 minutes, and in the last 5 minutes, I wanted to talk about the sports world with this idea. One thing I can tell you about the sports world is everyone says, "Oh, I would love to play a pro sport. I would love to play a pro hockey. I'd love to be a pro hockey player. Oh, my life would be amazing. I get millions of dollars on my contract every year. I'd be playing hockey for a living. I'd be flying from this city to that city having games. I'd be traveling all over the place having games. People would love me. I'd have fans and all this stuff. But you know what, man? I don't think anybody, you might say that you cannot last in that world. When you get in that world, and hockey is very competitive from the time, hockey's a competitive sport, ice hockey. And, people talk like that, but I bet they wouldn't survive 5 days there. They'd probably go to the first practice and go home crying about it. Like, holy shit, that was so competitive. And that just had me feeling terrible. And I can't even compete there. I'm breaking down and crying there. You know what I mean? And the point that I wanted to get at with this is that, when you have professional sports at the highest level, you have to understand that, guys are very competitive. And I have another example for this. When people think of someone being laborious, you can think of it in two ways. You could have your factory worker who works all the overtime in the world, 80 hours a week to make that extra money. He doesn't have any skills, can't speak, nothing, but he knows how to pick up a box and put it in a trailer. So he's working all these hours, he's working very hard, but he's not getting that much out of it, right? And then you have another type of person who works hard. Think of sports, right? It looks like they do work hard, right? They do their sport related training, they do practices and all that. But the truth is, in sports at the highest level, it's more about competition and challenge. Typically, even if this can happen. You can be very talented, gifted, trained, and skilled and not make it. When you're at the highest level of sports, you really have to be a man about it. And I'm serious about that. When I say that, you really got to be a man about it. And not even just that, but you have to be ready for challenge constantly. When you go, the toughest games and the toughest games are not held in front of the audience. They're done behind closed doors at the practice. That's when guys go really hard on each other, trying to see who's better, trying to dribble better, trying to pass them, trying to pass the ball, trying to shoot the goal. Whatever the case is, playing defense, doesn't matter, but these guys are constantly challenging. They're constantly getting in there. You know what I mean? You go to people think like, oh my God, I did a hat trick once. All my friends saw it. We've been talking about it for 5 years. No, when you go play hockey, you better have 20 or 30 good moments just in practice. You know what I mean? That's a level that these guys are at. What do you got? It's his own teammate, but he's still saying to him, what do you got? Why don't you come forward, man? Let me see what you got, man. And he'll take the ball off him. He'll score on it. He'll do whatever he has to do. But guys go at each other, man. Actual games that have audience there are much more civilized. I wouldn't say civilized, but are much more relaxed. People take it easy. They're not trying to injure nobody. They're trying to please the crowd. They're trying to put on a good show. In practice, guys are just going so hard at each other, and there's real rivalries and challenges. Guys know if they're rivals, other guys know that they're rivals. People, they get interested, they see them square off and go, and play against each other, whether they're groups of guys or individuals, it doesn't matter. That's the point I wanted to bring up. Is that you can look at it two ways. You can either be laborious, where you're just doing a lot of the kind of like a monotonous activity, or you can take it to a higher level and you can be challenging constantly. And that can make you a top athlete, just that thriving, that constant need to go, rather than elite athletes don't think like normal people, man. They don't go, oh my God, I'm so tired, or oh my God, that was a tough game, or oh my God, am I doing too much? Oh my God, I'm breathing too hard. Oh my God, I'm getting nervous, I'm getting anxiety. That's not the way the sports work. You really gotta be ready to go in and challenge people, man. And you gotta constantly take on that challenge. So, like I said, people say it's easy and they love to do it. It is not easy. Nobody could do it. If people could do it, they would have been in those shoes. They're not in those shoes. You will get your ass body checked if you come in with a weak ass attitude, but your daddy's somebody. You know what I mean? You're gonna get body checked in there. I don't play around either. I'm probably one of the ones that really doesn't play around in sports. I'll tell you that right now. I take that shit seriously. I don't care if and I'm serious when I say this. I don't care if it's a Premier League player. I'll put that pressure on him, man. I'll make him understand where his place is and where my place is. You gotta understand, man. That is a serious world. That's a boys' world. That's a men's world. and it's no joke. So anyway, so that's all I wanted to really talk about. It's been quite a little while, so I finally got a video in and just watch the video over.